And we are live with Spot Dodge, a live Nintendo podcast. Every single week, we react to the latest Nintendo news and talk about the games we're playing. I'm very excited to talk with my friends today. John Frisha, senior editor over at Nintendo Enthusiast and over at Escapist, doing some things and some stuff over there. And then there's
Good
Greg. He is
things.
a editor or writer over at PC Invasion. How you guys doing?
Good, man.
I'm here with you
Just said that.
guys. What could be better?
What
And
could
then
be better?
there's Greg.
I was gonna do my normal thing where I was like, Greg, he's the guy who can pick you up and throw you further than you can see. I couldn't think of anything though.
He's your bearded buddy.
Your bearded buddy, your nutty bearded buddy, Greg Vargas.
I'm so nutty.
He's freaking crazy, guys. Wild card.
Yeah.
Wild card. Anyway, today is going to be a pretty fun show. We're probably going to continue to talk about the Activision news a week later. I'm curious your guys' thoughts on stuff. There's been a few comments and statements from Phil Spencer about the future of Xbox and Activision and all that stuff, Call of Duty and whatnot. And aside from that, Pokémon Legends recently had a bunch of leaks, and I watched a little bit of it, but I didn't want to overdo it because I feel like the game's not going to be like insane. So the little surprises that there are, I kind of want them to be a surprise. You know what I mean?
Like
And then aside
bigger
from that, I
surprise.
mean, we're going to talk about what we're playing. So I'll just jump right into that segment. John, what have you been playing?
We're gonna just jump right into that segment, and then you toss the ball to me.
Yep.
Okay.
Run with it, John.
You
At
got
long last.
Corner John.
it. Forgot about Corner John.
Working
Call
that
back.
street corner, keeping it warm. Okay.
Keeping it warm.
I finally got Yakuza Kiwami in the mail, so all's right in the world now. It
Hey.
it's so funny. Like, I understand now how they were able to crank these games out in like a year each, because it feels like almost exactly like Yakuza 0. Like, the menus are almost exactly the same. The
funny.
environments are like really similar, and like even like the combat feels more or less the same. And so like it feels like I just bought like a really huge story DLC, but I love the story, so like this is great. Like, Sega
That's
can
funny.
shovel me this crap all day, and I'm happy.
And and Eric is already playing a Japanese trailer. Copyright strike right there at the very beginning.
But he's good.
But
Oh,
oh,
okay.
okay. Yeah,
All right,
We'll
PlayStation
see
likes
about
us,
that.
Yeah.
and we'll see. Yeah. But
So yeah, so is that
yeah.
pretty much just the same? So it's a continuation of the story from Zero, but Zero was a prequel made afterwards. But is it
Right.
cool? Is it cool seeing the characters that were originally meant to be seen in this game first, but you met them in Zero?
Yeah, it is pretty cool so far, and like because again, like obviously I didn't play like the original Yakuza, which I think was like on PS2, I think.
Yeah.
Um, so like it's kind of fun trying to guess like, okay, which parts were always in the story, and which parts are like they like subtly retconning to like make it fit
Hmm.
smoother with like Zero and the other stuff.
Yeah.
And it's been really good so far. There's this one character named like Majima who's like kind of like a fan favorite. He's like this like Looney Tunes nutcase with a knife, and people just love him. And but like I guess Yakuza 0 like introduced like a bunch of like new backstory that like humanizes him and like gives him like nuance and makes him like kind of tortured inside. But then they
Yeah.
had to like you make the jump to like Yakuza Kiwami, and he's back to being like "Hoo-hoo-hoo!" again. so,
That's really
so like
strange.
yeah, so like the end of Yakuza 0 without like getting into intense spoilers, like kind of like very last second is like, okay, now he's this kooky guy. And like
Oh, okay.
that
So they sort of set
so
it up,
like
or was it random?
kind of, but like it's like really not believable. Like it's like really shoehorned in at the last second. Like, okay, now he's cuckoo.
Okay,
And
that's funny.
so yeah, so I don't know. That part's a little bit weird, but like the rest of the game is great. I'm here for it.
Now, from what I played of Zero, it almost seems like the studio when they were making Zero, they were thinking we want people to start here before going into the next game, which I think is
Yeah.
really cool because it's kind of like they had like a bunch of like experience with games after the first like the first game in the series, and then they were like, you know what, let's basically make the first like a new first game for the series, and let's just do Yakuza 0. Then everyone will start here and then keep playing. So instead of like playing that older game that's probably dated in many ways, I'm sure a lot of people end up
Probably.
starting with 0 and falling in love with it.
Yeah, totally. And if we believe Wikipedia, which is the most trustworthy source in the world, I
Exactly.
think I think I think that's like exactly what happened. I think Yakuza 0 like really helped to start a renaissance of the series in America because there were so many games already, and then you finally have the starting point. It's like, oh, all right, I can start here,
Hmm.
and like it's been up ever since. And like a Dragon, as I've already said 100 times, was like so good, and I'm like so super hyped for whatever the sequel to that ends up to be. So like,
Yeah.
I'm just rooting for Sega to like keep making bank on this because they're gonna get my money like for the rest of my life now.
Yeah, like
Which is
Sega.
crazy because like I've always felt like ever since this was a franchise, everybody around me was playing it except for me.
Oh
And
really?
then, but it really didn't, like you said, hit that renaissance until recently. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I've always felt like it was popular. I'd like to see sales numbers, just out of curiosity.
Yeah, likewise. I haven't looked into it, but I know that when the series first came to America, well, okay, so like in Japan, the series is called Like a Dragon, which is pretty sweet in the first place.
Oh,
That's
But
cool.
then
Is
they
Like a
renamed it.
Dragon the game called Like a Dragon Yakuza in Japan?
I was wondering that. I'm not sure what it's called. I gotta look that up. It would be funny if it was called Like a Dragon, Like a Dragon.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
Like a Dragon squared. But
Yeah.
but when they decided to name it Yakuza for the US, which honestly I think is a pretty cool name, but it kind of gave off to like the wrong connotation because when it first came to the US, they kind of marketed it as like this is Japanese Grand Theft Auto. It's like all your favorite
yeah.
Grand Theft Auto stuff in
Yeah.
Japan, minus the driving. So it's just
No Grand
Grand
Theft Auto.
Theft. Yeah.
Yeah.
But except like you're only actually in the Yakuza for like the first half hour of the game, and then you're like busy like undermining them and like helping people. So like
Huh.
the marketing like really gave you like a really bad idea of what the game's actually about.
Okay, so Eric just posted in the chat. It's just called Yakuza 7 there. Like a
Ah,
Dragon is.
okay.
Interesting.
That kind
Ah.
of. I wish they would have just called it that here, to be honest, because I don't know. It's just weird just to not call it that.
Yeah, especially coming
Because
out of Japan.
all the other ones
Yeah.
here are called like Yakuza 1, Yakuza 2, Yakuza 3.
Yeah.
So why suddenly just change it to Like a Dragon? I'm assuming it's because they wanted like people to be like, "Oh, there's no number, so that means I can jump in here."
Hmm.
Probably, yeah, especially because that one has a brand new protagonist. It's a
Yeah.
different guy from like the 6 games before it. But
He's in them?
Yakuza. What?
Is the main character from Like a Dragon in the other ones?
I I could be wrong because again, I'm only in the first one, but I don't think he's in the other ones. I
Okay.
think somehow he was like introduced in like some like either like a web browser game or like a mobile game or something.
What?
And
Interesting.
yeah, I'm not even sure if it came out like in the US. Maybe it did. I don't know. But yeah, I think that's how he was introduced. And like then
Sega's
like
so weird, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
But good stuff. Yeah.
But I will say, like, if it wasn't for this series, like, I mean, they can't bank on Sonic anymore. Like, game wise, they can
Oh
sell the
no.
hell out of his merch,
Yeah, in his
but
movies.
in his movies. But
But they
I
got
mean,
Persona as well, which is massive. Well,
yeah,
not
that's
massive,
true.
but massive for being a JRPG.
Yeah, by those standards for sure. So I don't know.
Greg, let's get into it. What have you been playing?
And why
Take a
is it Apex
guess.
Legends?
And why is it Rocket League and Apex?
You know what? I'm gonna stun you both right now. You're gonna be so surprised. So I've been playing a lot of Apex Legends, but I just hit platinum rank, and so every season there's a split. And like I said last time, is this season I told myself, because you start bronze, silver, gold, and then move your way up, and so this season I was like, okay, I'm going to learn mouse keyboard, and I did, and I started when the split happened. I was low bronze, moved through silver pretty easily, got through gold, and I just hit platinum. And
Congratulations.
yeah, thank you. It was a lot of practice. I hit it on stream too, which was really cool, and I got a really cool snipe clip out of it. But man, the change from gold to to platinum, I mean, the randoms that I meet are just complete a-holes. Like
Jeez.
the worst people. Like griefing
To
for no
exist.
reason, and like, oh, you're horrible at this game. You're dog, blah 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 blah. Oh yeah, I can't
Your
believe you're playing
dog?
like well, dog shit is what I was gonna
I
say.
thought they were dissing your actual dog in real life. I was like, so specific.
That would give me reason to fight them in real life. But and then I just like, why are people like this? You know, and like it sucks because it makes me want to be toxic back and be such a jerk. You know, you just sit there and take it, and only you can only take so much of it. So I've been playing like a lot of that. You know, grinding through Rocket League still. But I did play a demo of something that's out. It's called Warm Snow, and it's like a roguelite with like a really dope art style. It has like a um I can't tell if it's more Chinese than Japanese influence on it. But you're running around like similar to like samurai style, and it's like a isometric top-down view in some cases, but you have this like bundle of swords with you, and then you can throw those and then regather them. But like the combat is like super bloody, and I was like so surprised because like, yeah, it looks like that kind of in the reel that Eric's showing, but then like, you know, some of the enemies you're just like stabbing to death with swords. And one of the first
Oh,
boss
okay.
encounters they have, yeah, one of the first boss encounters that they have is like this giant wolf, and you're just like throwing
I
swords
see
at
it.
it. Yeah,
I see
and
the wolf.
they stick in its body as it runs around and like summons other wolves and stuff.
Dude,
But
this looks like
I
a
was like,
Brett game for sure.
yeah, I was like, okay, this looks cool. And then I played it. I was like, wow, there's a lot of stuff that I didn't expect, you know, especially the polish. And then so I played a little ways, and unlocked a few things, and I died. But then I guess in the full game, you'll come back and be able to build out like these 3 tiers of your skill tree. And so I was pretty surprised. I was like, oh, I just thought I'd check this out as a demo, but you know, this is why I love demos of games, you know, being able to experience it and determine if, yeah, this is something that I could totally get behind and start playing. And I think I might actually, and hopefully it's not too long of a game because I mean,
You don't beat games.
You got some Apex to play.
Has to be under 3 hours for Greg to beat it.
like an hour.
An hour. You can only play Journey. That's the only game you could complete.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think I might end up buying this, but no, I got my new graphics card too this week, and I
Oh
went
yeah.
back and checked out a couple games in, you know, full settings or ultra settings. So Horizon, I can finally play the Halo campaign. I still want to check out Resident Evil Village, see how it looks. But even in Apex Legends, the draw distance is a lot better. So snipes from long distance are a lot clearer to make out and stuff like that. So I I hate the current environment of hardware shortages on all fronts, console and computer parts, and it sucks because like this card MSRP's for $399, and it's like night and day my experience on PC, like just graphic
Wow.
wise, which
That's
it
awesome.
sucks because I know a lot of people out there probably like me. I was waiting a year and a half to upgrade. Like
Yeah.
it's just
And
crazy I
you're
waited
gonna
this
your
long.
old graphics card now, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna build you a PC, sick PC.
That's exciting, man. I've never had a power like even a semi-powerful PC. I have had like all crappy laptops from Best Buy for like $200 until I got my MacBook, which Greg hates because Greg doesn't like Apple.
My
Oh,
work,
I don't
my work,
either.
my work laptop's a MacBook. I got a MacBook Pro.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
really?
Never mind then. I take it back. He's not that much of a hater.
I
Is
grew up
that
on Mac
common?
actually.
Uh, is that common at all these days to have like a Mac-centric work environment, like outside of like a super artsy place?
Well, I work in social media and I do a lot of like social media graphics and a little bit
Mm.
of audio and video editing, and I think from part of it, I guess, from a security standpoint and my job, like there's only part of our office that does use Mac products, so I don't know. I think you're right though. Yeah, the artsy side of it. You know, a lot of people. And I bought an iPad not too long ago, and I've used it like twice. I use it for a Roku remote. That's all I use it for now.
I use my phone all the time for a remote. But yeah, that's hilarious. You could stream xCloud on it if you wanted. Anyway,
I guess
I've been playing a few games. I played all the way through for the third time, believe it or not. This is just insane. All the way through Dirt 5. This time on Xbox Series S. Because my son likes watching racing games, and that's the only way he'll actually go to sleep. So I end up playing a lot of racing games, even though I'm not like I'm more into them now because of him, because I've sort of been obligated to play them. But so I did all those races again. I'm not much of an achievement hunter on Xbox, but I just did a few extra things to get some achievements, and now I'm looking for another racing game because I have nothing left to do in that game. But I have to keep finding new ones because he has to watch racing, but he also doesn't mind Halo Infinite at night, which is nice because that's something different.
Did you ever play
I think he
Split
just
Second?
likes it. Splits. Oh yeah, I have that, and it's too hard. Like I
Get outta
love it.
here.
It's amazing. Like all the visuals, everything, super impressive, especially for the time. But it's so damn hard. I can't get past a few races. I'm just screwed.
Oh, so there's two
there's
games
no,
I could probably beat you at: Split Second and Smash.
no. You could never beat me in Smash. And aside from that, I finally finished. I've been like off and on with it for a while. Metro Last Light. What a game!
Yeah.
What a game! I like started a while back because I loved Metro Exodus and Metro 2033. This was the second game. I started playing them out of order. I played the latest one and then the first one, and then now the second one. And such a good series, dude. I can't even believe how good these games are. I feel like no one talks about them too. Like there's definitely an audience there, but in terms of like the games media podcasts and all that, I rarely hear people talk about this series, and it's so unfortunate because it's just absolutely amazing. The combat is so intense, the environment's so like scary and intimidating, like just walking into a new place and wondering like what the hell's around the corner. Are there going to be alien things? Are there going to be guys I'm going to have to kill? It's just a really impressive game all around. And like some of the set pieces, like there's a section where you're fighting a monster, you fall into a pit full of rocks. And keep in mind, this game came out during the PS3 360 generation. And you're in this pit of rocks with this giant monster, and there's walls around that are also made of rocks. And he's attacking you, and then if he like goes up against one of the walls, all the rocks just shatter and fall everywhere. And you see them all drop like individually, drop on the ground and like crumble and like bounce around. I'm like, holy crap, how does this game look this good? It was just super impressive for such an old game. And yeah, I played it on PS5, the PS4 version, but it's also on Switch, and I've seen videos and stuff, and it also looks really good on Switch. It's actually a really solid port. And yeah, I highly recommend everyone play this series. It's so freaking good.
I feel like each iteration they use it as like to promote consoles. Like, look how pretty it is. That's the only time I really hear about it.
Yeah, they do get in with. I think it's running on. Is it Unreal Engine or no? I can't remember.
I forgot.
Or is it like something proprietary?
Might be. I don't know. But
yeah, I can't remember.
My best friend, he's like pretty picky about the games he plays, but yeah, he really likes the Metro series. So
yeah,
there's your endorsement.
And the thing is I like starting off, especially with Exodus. There might have been difficulty options in that one. I can't remember, but I think there's only one. And at first I was like dying on it. I was like, I don't understand this game, this series, because that was the first one I played. But then I just stuck with it. Like I wasn't feeling it at all in the beginning, but then I stuck with it, and it ended up being like one of my favorite games of that year. And it made me want to play all the DLC for Exodus and the rest of the games in the series. So yeah, I highly recommend everyone play it and start at the first game and just make your way to Exodus. Like,
what's the most recent one?
Exodus. Greg, we played it at E3 together. Remember when you made me get up when I didn't sleep? we had an appointment to play Metro Exodus at E3. Yeah. I literally went to bed for 30 minutes. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating.
I still remember your face like walking downstairs, and I was like, "Are you okay?" And you're like, like I don't even think you moved your mouth to pronunciate words. You were just like, I didn't sleep last night.
because I was
I'm
out
so
late
tired.
with Minash and Nero and everyone was out late, so I wanted to be with the higher ups and prove I'm cool, and then it ended up backfiring hardcore. But the thing is I was so tired throughout the day. Like, imagine a whole day of E3 where you haven't went to sleep yet. Like, that's how I felt.
That
But
sounds
then around
awful.
then around like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, I started to feel normal. Like, I was like just perfectly normal, like wide awake. But it was like during the events, like the party, like up on the rooftop, the indie game and stuff. So yeah, I was just feeling a lot more awake and lively. But yeah, that was hard morning that Greg put me through. And Metro Exodus, in that demo that we played, I walked away not impressed at all. So I was like, ugh, I just did
I
all this
remember
for that game. And then I ended up loving the game in the end, which is funny. But
Being
yeah,
tired can really affect how you feel.
exactly.
This game sucks.
Yeah.
No, it's running on the
Not even putting
4A
me to sleep.
engine.
Oh, so it is their engine. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I think
I
it's
wonder-
THQ owned engine, which is interesting.
I
wonder if that
wonder
was
if they
part of
let
that
other people
acquisition.
use it.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's a super impressive looking game. Like the visuals, like when I was playing last night, I was like, I cannot believe this was a 360 game. Like, obviously they
Right.
did the remaster and it got like a bit of an upgrade in the lighting department and stuff, but still, it looked super good.
Mhm.
And then Exodus looks amazing. That also got the Series X and PS5 patch.
Yeah,
But,
that's
yeah.
what I thought.
And then lastly, aside from that, I'm still toward the beginning of Doki Doki Literature Club, polar opposite type of game. But yeah, that's pretty interesting so far. Nothing crazy has happened. Like no shit has hit the fan yet, which I know it does happen later on.
Right.
And there's me and Greg in the video interviewing Bethesda.
Oh yeah,
About a
I
game
remember
that absolutely no one cared about.
Yeah, we had
Pretty
to
much.
try to sound enthusiastic about that one. I was like, sweet, we can interview Bethesda
Yeah.
about Blades. Yeah.
It's the
Elder
Elder
Scrolls
Scrolls on mobile.
Blades.
But you want to know what's funny though? This was probably my first on-camera interview ever.
Me too. But with
And we were
Bethesda, like one of the
And
biggest
we were just like
publishers in the
acting like we
world.
were just like, hey, we know what we're doing when we really didn't.
At the end, I was like, hey, did I do all right? I asked them. And they're like, yeah. I was like, okay, that was my first interview ever.
I remember you set your camera stuff down and your hands were like shaking. You're
Were
like,
they?
or in the middle of it, you were trying to fix something and you're like, I can't calm down.
I think like I whispered to you like right before it started, Greg, you intro it, but I don't think you did. I think
No,
I still
'cause-
introed it.
You introed it because I couldn't remember their names.
Oh yeah, I couldn't remember either. Remember I messed up in the beginning?
Yeah, you caught your
My buddy V. Oh. Oh. All right.
Are we live or
It's
no?
okay, Eric.
Oh, okay, but did the audio work?
Okay. No problem.
Yeah, I got
All
up
right,
to
we're
the
still
blade,
doing
Technical
the blades
difficulties, but
portion,
we're
I
still
think.
here.
Eric, when you talk, can people hear you, or do they just think we're talking to God or something? Okay.
We're talking
Okay, yeah.
to God,
So anyone in
everybody.
the chat right now, we were talking to Jesus Christ himself.
Just to let you know, God sounds sexy.
He has a very heavy accent that no one saw coming.
Really frost my cookies, man.
Oh, also, Eric clarified for us before that actually in Japan, Yakuza 7, it did have a subtitle, and I Google
Oh.
translated it, and apparently the Japanese subtitle is it's Like a Dragon 7, The Whereabouts of Light and Darkness.
What the heck?
What?
The whereabouts, like
The whereabouts.
we got the flashlight, we're finding that light, we're finding that darkness.
I just picture them like putting the names in a hat and just like light and darkness. Yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
That's
I think the
hilarious.
localization team, I think they did a good job calling it Like a Dragon. I think that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I still would have just preferred Yakuza 7.
Yeah,
Or
You gotta have
what?
something for the American market to eat up.
yeah,
The Western market.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
alright. Anyway,
All right. Well, Next up, I guess we could jump into some news. Actually, I actually wanted to get your guys' thoughts on the Activision Microsoft stuff. Phil Spencer has come out and said that he hopes things can continue like Call of Duty on PlayStation, but he doesn't outright confirm it, which I thought was a little odd. And then just actually 20 minutes ago or so, I think it was Jason Schreier had like an insider connection that told him that right now the plan is for Call of Duty all the way up until 2024 will likely be on PlayStation. But aside from that, it's a mystery as for the other games.
Mm.
And that's because of the contracts that are already in place.
Mm.
So after that, 2025 or so, or maybe his last one was 2023. I can't remember anymore. Oh no, it was 2024. So maybe 2025, that's whenever Call of Duty might end up going exclusive, or maybe Game Pass will be on PlayStation by then. Which I want
Not
to know
likely.
how you guys feel about that as well.
I'd say not likely.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem likely to me, and also as like someone who's stuck in my old school ways, I don't really want it to happen because then it really is we're getting down to owning two consoles. Because what's the point of owning an Xbox if you can have Game Pass on PlayStation? You know, like that would
Yeah.
basically be Microsoft forfeiting the hardware business completely. Like if you can have Spider-Man and Game Pass on one platform, which one are you going to choose? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. Like I can't imagine a scenario where like even just like disregarding Microsoft's perspective, I can't imagine Sony agreeing to host Game Pass because like Sony's the one that like doesn't even want crossplay in its video games. Like
yeah,
Sony's
crossplay
always the
tax.
one like trying to like first off have no crossplay in the first place, and then if there is
Mm.
crossplay, it wants to like set up like these extra weird deals that like to siphon more money to PlayStation like in each case. So like I
It's
just
so
like
strange how they do that.
yeah. Oh.
Like, aren't you
Well, I
like?
mean,
I'm sure
that's
you guys
what's
are doing
brought us to
fine.
this
Do you?
point, though. You know,
Mm,
What do you mean?
I think Sony's business practices, like this whole time, you know, from pretty much from the PS3 on, forced Microsoft to kind of make these calculated moves in the background and have these, you know, whatever money that they were looking to allocate, you know, maybe it was, you know, setting the roadmap to make Game Pass and, you know, Xbox Live, so they have consistent flows of income, you know, these income streams from subscription services. But I feel like this was a long time, you know, in the making, and they saw the rigidity that PlayStation has pretty much boasted this whole time, you know, limiting crossplay. And you know, I see it in even just Xbox's modern marketing, just how they communicate on social media platforms, and how much more casual the conversation is around games. I mean, they're trying to win over the market with their wallet, and then they're winning over gamers with, you know, offerings like Game Pass and just like how they present themselves and communicate with the gaming community. And I just think it's gonna force Sony to make some changes, because I don't think they can continue being profitable and running business in such just a weird, just off-putting way. Like now more than ever, people just want to play video games with each other. Period.
Yeah, and it's so weird how they do it. Like, if someone plays on PlayStation often, like let's say Fortnite, they play on PlayStation the most, but then they buy a microtransaction on their phone where they play Fortnite as well. They have to look at that data and basically tell Epic, okay, so because this person plays most on PlayStation, you owe us a part of that money that they paid for the microtransaction on their phone. So then Epic has to pay Sony, which is just kind of ridiculous. I don't know.
yeah, that is kind of crazy. But
Now,
uh,
now also Eric put in the chat, PlayStation also has PlayStation Now that competes with Game Pass, so why would they put it on there?
But does it
But
really compete
who's
though?
no, it doesn't compete with
yeah.
Game Pass.
The big question with PlayStation Now is always what's PlayStation Now?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone still thinks it's just this weird like streaming thing, and you can download like PS4 games now, but you still can't download PS3 games, which is the ones that I would want the most to be played on the hardware natively, so they can actually get enhancements. Because I don't know about you guys, but like it's really jarring now going back and playing a game on PS3 that runs at like 15 frames per second. And the fact that that's what you're getting on PS5 in 2022 when you play a PS3
Oh,
game,
coming from the guy.
and you're streaming
I
the
wouldn't
game.
care if it was at 30
Listen, Greg.
FPS on the Switch.
Listen, Greg.
Yum, 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 yum.
I just played Batman Arkham Origins, but I was curious. I was like, how's this game look streaming on PS5? Maybe I'll just play it here. I booted up Arkham Origins through the PlayStation Now subscription because I game share with Brett and Brett was paying for it. So I was like, I'm gonna try it. I boot up Arkham Origins. I look at it. I'm like, this looks okay. It looks kind of weird. Something about it looks weird because it's streaming. And then I was like, you know what? Now let me check the native version of Arkham Origins that I own on PS3. I switched the HDMI so that I could switch back and forth to the same exact spot in the intro. It's insane how bad PS3 games look on PS5 compared to them actually just running on PS3. It's just so jarring. I'm just because I was like, did PS3 games look this bad? Like as I was playing, I was like, this feels bad, this looks bad, and then I booted up the real game on my PS3, and it was just worlds better. So I just can't do the streaming on a TV. Like if I'm playing on my phone, maybe then it makes more sense, a smaller screen. But I'm not streaming no PS3 game. I'll just play them.
You could just download it on Steam.
I'll play them on my Xbox where they're actually backwards compatible. Usually, most games that I care about.
Well, speaking of which, there's been the reports for a couple months now that like Sony is in fact like currently preparing its like Game Pass offering for
what's the name of it?
So to speak,
like
Spartacus, I think.
Spartacus, yeah.
Yeah. So like
I can't wait to see how disappointing that is.
Yeah, right.
Dude,
so like
this is what's gonna be.
I can't wait to see how bad it is.
Dude, people are talking about this thing like it's the second coming of Jesus Christ. People are got their expectations way too high. I just have a feeling this is gonna be.
Brett?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'm just feeling the Lord. I'm feeling them in my bones. But yeah. So I just have a feeling. First off, the PSP games they're gonna have. I bet they're streaming. PS3 games aren't gonna suddenly become native. They're gonna continue to be streaming. And for me personally, that's what I care about the most. They already have some PS2 games on PSN that you can actually digitally download, which is cool. They're not backwards compatible. Like you can't put in your PS2 disc and it works like on Xbox where you can put in your original Xbox disc. But it's still something. It's an option. It's not a big like catalog of PS2 games, but at least it's something. But this, I just know it's going to be crappy. I just have a feeling it's going to be so disappointing because they're not going all the way with this backwards compatibility and all these options for people, enhancing old games like Microsoft is doing. They just don't see that as like a valuable part of business, and it probably isn't. I honestly don't think it is, but people got their hopes way too high. I think
it's the convenience thing, man. Like the like I was talking about earlier, like trying to upgrade and like console scarcity and all this stuff, and like I don't even know how I ended up getting a Series S. But the best part about Game Pass Ultimate is the convenience of it. Like if I want to play Guardians of the Galaxy that's on Game Pass on my PC and it's on Series S, there was cross progression. I could just walk over and lay on my couch and play.
And then instant cloud saves. It's so convenient.
Same thing with Halo. Sorry. Like if I wanted to go sit in my living room and play on a controller, that's fine, And I think that's like I don't understand why it's so hard for them to embrace that. And I'm really hoping, in the future, I mean, Nintendo's kind of done that somewhat with the Switch and Switch Lite and some of the like
emphasis on somewhat.
Yeah.
And the cloud saves the cloud saves are better on Switch than they are on PlayStation, to be honest, which is crazy.
I don't know if it's like a Japanese business mentality, kind of modernizing that, but I think, companies like that need to, especially in a pandemic age, like make some adjustments, man. Like it shouldn't be that hard to just change business practices.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I've been
the perennial problem, of course, with PlayStation 3 is that like the architecture of PlayStation 3 was like this crazy space alien deal that like at like the peak of PlayStation 3, people were still having problems programming for PlayStation 3.
Oh yeah.
And so like I think it's always going to be the case that like you're just not going to be able to do like direct backwards compatibility with that machine's games to like anything that comes after because it's just so weird and so alien. So I think streaming or of course downloading to direct to the console, like that's like going to be our only option there.
I've heard that some hackers have made a lot of progress on on PS3 games running natively on a PS5, but
Really?
I haven't looked that into. I don't know how good
Yeah.
it actually is, but I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, and I
Maybe
heard
it's
some.
possible. Maybe it's not.
I heard something in my retro group too that like somebody else was looking to pick up a PS3 that was in better condition than the original, but they wanted to pull out the hard drive. But I guess when you put your original hard drive from your PS3 into a new PS3 console, that it'll wipe it and format it, and it won't let you bring over any of your saved content.
Oh
And I
man,
was like, good God, like why?
Dude,
that's a very Sony move.
Yeah, really.
I've been a PlayStation guy, like a PlayStation guy, ever since the late PS3, like the last few years of PS3, and I heavily regret, first off, buying all my games on PS3 digitally, which like not a lot of people were doing back then. But I bought them all on
Wait,
PS3,
can you
like
say that
random
again,
games.
please?
What? Anyway,
I just wanted to
I'm-
hear you say you hated buying them digitally.
oh no, I love buying games digitally. That's why I did it. But none of those games move forward at all. Whereas if I would have bought so many of them on Xbox 360 instead of
Mhm.
PS3 back then, I would still
Oh,
have
yeah.
access to all those games on my Series X. But on PlayStation, they're all trapped on PS3. And that sucks. And that's another thing. Why am I paying a subscription to play games that I bought? Like I own Infamous 2 on PS3. I bought it. I paid $60 for Infamous 2. Now to play it on PS5, even if it's streaming, I have to pay a subscription to play a game I already bought.
That's
So,
awful.
and now to back up a minute to like since I'm still ranting about Sony a lot, cloud saves are terrible on PlayStation. They're absolutely abysmal between PS4 and PS5. You can't transfer any PS5 saves to your PS4. So on Xbox, all the cloud saves are instant and they go across every platform. Xbox One, even Xbox 360, Xbox Series consoles, all of them. And as soon as you're done playing, immediately uploads it to the cloud. Wherever you jump into the game again on another platform, it'll be ready for you. Like all that progress will be ready. On PlayStation, there's no automatic upload to the save of the cloud. Well, there is, but not. It doesn't do it all the time. It'll do it like at night time, like while the console's off. It'll like upload all the saves to the cloud. So you have to manual. So if I'm playing like Tony Hawk's, the remasters on PS4 in my bedroom, I like when I'm done playing, I have to manually go upload the cloud or upload the save to the cloud, and then I want to go play it in my living room. Well, I can't first off because I have a PS5 in the living room, and that save can't be transferred over to PS5, even though it's the same game, all the same content. Doesn't work. It's impossible. I can transfer over the PS4. I can transfer over the PS4 save, but I can't do the PS5 save. It doesn't make
My
sense.
PS5
Whereas on
living room.
Xbox,
Oh.
Gregory, whereas on Xbox, it doesn't matter what generation you're in. I own Tony Hawk's. I actually bought it on Xbox because of this reason, because I'm a room hopper. It's what I do. So I bought it on Xbox just
Better
so I
than
could
a
have
bed
cloud
hopper.
saves. Like that's what enticed me to buy it on Xbox was simply the cloud saves, which that's how you know Microsoft is smart when it comes to their hardware and just their whole
But see,
infrastructure.
like it just boils down to one thing, and that was convenience. They just made it convenient. Like I don't understand in an age where your phone. How long has your phone been uploading its contents to the cloud? Like how long has iCloud been a thing? Like your freaking phone has been doing it for the last 5-10 years. Like I don't understand why your gaming console and you're wanting people to play more mobilely and be able to take their consoles with them, or play on xCloud or play on their PS Vita when it was a thing. Like I just don't understand why your business practices are stuck in like the early 2000s. Like it's hurting you. It's going to hurt you. You're going to
Dude.
continue to see, I think, Xbox edge out PlayStation.
It's funny you say that about the Vita because the Vita and the PS TV, they felt like I've been playing it lately because I've been playing Danganronpa 1 and then I started 2, and I'm going back and forth from PlayStation TV, the tiny little console that came out that like no one even heard of.
I
I've been
bought
playing
one.
on that and my PS Vita. Oh, nice. I've been playing on both of those, and it's easier to do with those two than it is to do with the PS5 and the PS4, like back and forth. I don't know. This just seems like they got it all backwards when it comes to their online stuff. But I guess the cloud save stuff isn't going to be that much like it's not going to be that annoying for that much longer because most games will start becoming PS5 games. Maybe, I don't know.
Right.
I guess
Yeah.
we'll see.
Hopefully. hopefully.
Yeah, yeah, it doesn't work because there's two different versions of the game that and they're completely separated. You have the
Mm,
PS4 version of Yakuza Like a Dragon, for example, and the PS5 version of Yakuza Like a Dragon. If you start the game on PS4 and you go to PS5, you can upload your PS4 save and play the PS4 version on PS5. You can do that, but who wants to do that? You c-
right.
but you can do that, or you could actually play it natively on PS5, but then you have to start the game completely over. Whereas on
Greatness
Xbox,
awaits.
you started. Whereas on Xbox, if you started Yakuza Like a Dragon on Xbox One, you boot it up on your Series X, instant crossover, like no problem. And that's my ranting about cloud saves. I've been holding that in, you guys. I'm sorry it was so long. I'm a
You let
room
it out.
hopper.
You're so sweaty now.
I'm a little bit sweaty. I hop rooms very often because of my kids, and I lay in bed. I'm in the living room, and I don't know. It's just convenient to do that for me.
Yeah.
Mm,
So let's talk about Pokemon Legends, a game you guys don't care about.
you betcha.
Hey.
So the game has leaked. I've seen some videos. Like I said at the front of the show, I didn't want to like go down the rabbit hole too much because I want some of it to be a surprise since I don't know if it's going to be like this mind shattering game. But from what I saw, man, it's just really cool seeing like just the characters so free in a world, which sounds ridiculous because that's like, I mean, it we've had that in games forever, but just seeing it like Pokemon do it, it just looks like really refreshing and really fun. I mean, just look at the gameplay. It looks pretty fun, right?
Yeah, I saw that Laura Kate Dale did like a Broken Street
Yeah.
Date preview, which I was
Eric, can you bring up
surprised
Laura
about.
Kate Dale's tweet about Pokemon Legends?
I was
Google
I
Laura
was
Kate
really
Dale Pokemon
surprised.
tweet.
Like I know that like mom and pop shops break street dates and you know we
Mhm.
we all mutually know people that have done it. But you know just to see them like outwardly talk about it in games media is it still feels kind of weird, especially
Yeah.
for a game this big. But I mean, I saw clips all over TikTok of like just how big some of the Pokemon are in comparison to your character and stuff like that. I sent you one.
Yeah, I think Eric's busy creating something, but I wanted him to bring up that tweet because it has a bunch of information about the game that I thought would be great to look at. But because I don't remember it all by heart, but basically she was saying that it just feels like really refreshing, which is exactly what I wanted out of this game. Because Pokemon has been getting, I mean, for me, not for everyone, but for me, it's just been feeling so stale, like for a long time. And I'm excited for this game, and I pre-ordered it. It's
Mm,
pre-downloaded. What about you, John?
oh, there we
Nope.
go. Nah.
No.
Well, when we first saw like the original trailer and like we just thought like, oh cool, like Breath of the Wild Pokemon, sweet. Like that had me really intrigued. Like I I'm sure there'll still be tons of exploration and like on the face of it, it actually does look fun. It's just like it's not enough for me as like an extremely lapsed fan to like come back now. If it like
Mm,
went the full open world route and it wasn't like borrowing like the Monster Hunter framework, then I think I'd be like a lot more interested. But like I'm not much of a Hunter person either. So like
Yeah.
saying it's Pokemon now, but Monster Hunter, it's like, well, okay, I don't want that either. But you tried. So
what would be like your dream mechanic that would be like, okay, I this like has me absolutely 100% back in.
oh, that's a good
Wants to
question.
punch
Um
Pokemon in the face.
Take
well,
that,
like
Diglett.
I I
Rock'em
know
sock. Or no, what are those things called?
What?
The things where
the
you hit the things down and when they pop up in like
whack-a-mole.
arcades. Whack-a-mole, yeah, but with Diglett.
Mm.
Oh yeah,
I
whack-a-mole.
never had whack-a-mole, but we had the one with the alligator. Do you ever have the one with the alligator?
Oh yeah. There's a Chuck
Yeah,
E.
it's
Yeah.
like
Cheese
a
special.
line of alligators. Yeah, and you whack it with the
Chuck E.
mallet.
Cheese special.
That was the good stuff. But like I think I would like kind of like an open world game where like maybe you actually like play specifically like as the Pokemon. Like, don't even bother with like the humans. Like like I don't know, like I don't care about the humans, but like the Pokemon are cool. If you could somehow like make a story like strictly just out of the Pokemon and like I don't know if that means they have to talk or like whatever. Okay, yeah, yeah, like not yeah, I don't want to play a mystery dungeon either though. Like like I would either like an open world thing that's like strictly about the Pokemon or like maybe like a story driven RPG but like again just strictly about the Pokemon. Like throw out the trainers, throw out the badges cuz I don't care about any of that. I just think all that stuff's repetitive. Like I don't care about doing 8 badges for like the 100th time. I just don't care. So I say throw out all of humanity, just make it about the Pokemon. Make it about the
Humanity.
Pokemon in like cool environments, and like I think that by itself is a fun game. Like tell me about like the adventure of like I don't know, like the Bulbasaur that makes friends with the Magikarp, and then the Magikarp evolves into the Gyarados, and they
The
gotta go on some
Gyarados.
whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
then
like that sounds fun to me. Like they have their own adventure outside of like humans training them and fighting them in gyms.
yeah,
Yeah, they
exactly.
do
Like
that. Those little shorts, like before the animated movies, they do like those shorts that are like just
mm,
focused on the Pokemon with like no humans or nothing. I don't know if you guys have seen those,
mm,
but that's actually like pretty much what you're
vaguely
saying. Like it's a
familiar.
full story
Mm,
just about the Pokemon, like a
okay.
15-minute like story.
Okay, see, that I would love as a video game because, like, the humans are the same in every game. They're just there to have you get in fights. The Pokemon are fun. Just
But dude,
show
Typical
me
like,
the
humans, though.
what if the
Pokemon.
what if there's like, okay, so you're like this Charmander. You're out in the
Mm.
woods. It's this dark, horror-like setting. The rain starts coming down. Your fire tail is almost out, and then you'll die. And then frickin' Team Rocket shows up. So you're bobbing and weaving. They're trying to catch you. You're dodging their Pokeballs, and you're about to die. And it's like a horror game, but a Pokemon game where Team Rocket are like they're like Nemesis from Resident Evil trying to kill you or trying to catch you, not kill you.
Well, that could be kind of rad too. I don't know how invested Nintendo is in making a survival horror Pokemon game.
That would be amazing, dude.
That
Well, I
would be
mean,
amazing.
even in Detective Pikachu was like a little
It was darker.
dark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
dark moments.
yeah,
That's surprising.
yeah, a little.
See, and like I love the movie. I'm like, I was like excited to see like game stuff in cinema more or
Mm,
less, but also like you got to see, I don't know, I think that's the thing that like games lack most nowadays is like there's got to be more to their world than just fighting and eating and that's it. Like I want to see them
right.
like like the simulation part to it, like of just being
So
a
you want like a
character.
Pokemon MMO where you just exist in the world and everyone
Hey,
can
that'd be
do
kind
their
of
own
tight.
jobs. Some people
Mm,
could be like a nurse at a Poke Center. Then some people could be Team Rocket trying to steal people's Pokemon.
Dude, that sounds fun as hell.
that
That
would be
actually does
And
rad.
I'm
sound
not
Yeah.
even a
fun.
Pokemon fan.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, like it'd be like this is probably gonna sound like a bad example, but like Fallout New Vegas, it the idea, the concept was really cool. Just what they did wasn't that great. But if that like that in a Pokemon like setting where like everyone can do anything and like give quests like to people to other players, like that'd be awesome. Millie.
Yeah, for sure. Like there's a ton of potential with this franchise that I feel like Nintendo and Game Freak have never bothered with because they don't need to. No matter what
Yeah.
they do, it's gonna make money.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah, they're like,
sucks.
don't bother us. We're squeezing blood from this turnip.
They don't have to iterate on anything.
Yeah.
They just
Like it
keep
would be
being praised for no reason.
yeah, well like it's like I'm always happy to see like for instance when they get Bandai Namco to do like new Pokemon Snap or like Pokken, like that's that's stuff people love and it's in a different context. Like cool, like
Yeah.
keep doing that. Like keep
Hmm.
finding good developers that like have a unique pitch on Pokemon and like let them give it a try. Like I mean,
Yeah.
do it right. Games is doing with League of Legends. They just all of a sudden decided we're gonna let everybody else make our games.
Yeah, and
Have
it's
Yeah.
going
Pokemon
pretty
do that.
good. Like it seemed like they started doing that like with everything all at the same time. Like a few games came out
Mm,
in the league world and the TV show came out, which blew up. So
yeah.
that's I mean, I think Nintendo should do this or a Game Freak and Nintendo should do the
Mm,
same thing with Pokemon.
Hand it over
yeah.
to Platinum.
They
There
have
you go.
they have experimented with the anime at least a little bit. Like the Pokemon Origins like like mini series. I thought was like really awesome. Did you guys ever watch that?
Mm.
Mm-mm.
It's been so long since I watched Pokemon.
The Pokemon
Ah,
Origins series was like based on the game. So the main character is Red, and it was sort of like a way to market the Mega like evolutions during that time because it ends up showing up, I think, in it. But it like does the actual game's story in the show, and like the anime actually looks, or like the animation actually looks like more darker and serious. I don't know. I just thought that was pretty cool.
yeah.
Now, on to
It's
the segment of the day, which is a game that you guys wish got a sequel but never did. Greg, you want to go first?
I think you're going to be surprised. I will go first.
All right.
A game that I
Apex
thought
Legends.
Apex Legends,
Apex 2,
Titanfall 2.
Titanfall 3.
No, I, I do want to talk about that because Respawn's next game.
Oh yeah,
and
there's
the
that
whole
news.
EA thing and
We'll do this
Star
segment
Wars
and then we'll do that and then we'll call it a day.
cool. So this is so I've always liked fighting games and I've always liked like the Fighter style of games and especially growing up, I played a lot of what's the King of the Monsters. I liked Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Killer Instinct, Rise of the Robots, Primal Rage. But one that I like absolutely loved that I felt like they could have done more. And yeah, granted they cashed in on the whole like Street Fighter era was Tournament Fighters. The
Tournament
nin-
Fighters
Okay.
for the
the Ninja
SNES.
the Ninja Turtle fighting game is surprisingly, I think the Super Nintendo version is the best. They did a NES version and they also did a Genesis version, but the Genesis version doesn't have the same licensed characters as the Super
Wow.
Nintendo version, but the Super Nintendo version plays more like Street Fighter 2. And it actually I think it executes combat well. I think the characters weren't common licensed Ninja Turtle characters, but the way that it plays out is just super fun. The characters all feel very different on the Super Nintendo version than the NES version. I think the NES only has the turtles and that's it. But the SNES version has like Wingnut and like a couple other Shredder, and then the Genesis version is like really dark. It has like not only is the art style very dark and the levels are kind of creepy, but the character models are like weird like claymation looking darker characters. I think Eric has it up on screen right now,
Mm.
and I don't really care for it too much, but the Super Nintendo version I think is a really polished, fun fighter, and I really wish instead of like, so they brought the turtles back for Injustice 2, but from my recollection, you can
Was
only
Turtles in
select,
Injustice 2? I must have missed that
yeah, so you can
entirely.
only select I think the one turtle at a time, and then your brothers come in as like support characters.
Mm, okay, yeah.
Wow.
And
That looks
yeah, and
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, it
and
does.
like it's I like the fighting style that they did with them, but I feel like a Ninja Turtles focused fighter game would still do well in this day and age. And I really miss just like the turtles in general. I think they're fun.
Dude, how did I
No
miss
doubt.
this? They look awesome in Injustice 2.
Me too.
Yeah. And I
Wow.
love they have such good lines to deliver, and like they have like a weird balance of like combat and comedy, and the story can get serious. It's about brotherhood
Sure.
and these young turtles finding themselves, and they all have different personalities and stuff. But I don't know, I just feel like there's something there that hasn't really been tapped into in modern games, or really revisited that Street Fighter style of Ninja Turtle combat, and I feel like they could do that in this day and age, or even like a remaster would do well. But I miss it.
Yeah, that's a deep cut, but that's awesome.
Yeah, you've sold me on it.
Yeah,
John,
if you're
what?
gonna play it at all, Super Nintendo version is the best.
I will keep that
All
in
right.
mind.
Yeah, me too. John, what's yours?
So I kind of accidentally talked all about mine last week. So I'll I will discuss it briefly again, and then I'll do a cop out second pick. So I
Okay.
think the game that really deserved a sequel and didn't get one was Monolith's Dragon Ball Z RPG on Nintendo DS. It was called Attack of the Saiyans. It was the game that like I'd been dying for since like 4th or 5th grade, and it came out like I don't know around 20 years after that, I don't know, maybe like 10 years after that. I don't remember, but like it was not even like it was not even an easy RPG. It was like it was hard. In most RPGs, you end the game with like 50 of every item. In this game, some of these bosses are so hard that either you use the items you've collected or you're gonna die. And it was great. Everything about this game like bleeds like first of all RPG quality, and secondly, it just feels like authentic Dragon Ball Z. It's like everything I ever wanted is in Attack of the Saiyans, and it ends on a cliffhanger. It feels like Frieza's coming, and Frieza never comes because they never made another one. And it is a complete injustice. In a perfect world, Monolith would say, "Hey, this Xenoblade thing is making money, but it's time to hit the brakes here and make the thing that everyone really wants: Dragon Ball
Dragon
Z
Ball.
Attack of the Saiyans 2." Yes.
Experience the story you know and love for the 75th
The
time.
characters you know and love. Dragon
it's
Ball.
it's only fair.
Now, what's your
But
cop out answer?
yeah, my cop out answer is like my oh well, I'll stick with this cop out answer. It's the same one that like all RPG lovers give, and it's we never got Chrono Break. So we got Chrono Trigger on Super Nintendo, and it's the greatest thing in the universe. Period. End of story. I say so. And then PlayStation 1 got this like pseudo sequel, Chrono Cross. Like in the most literal possible way, it is a sequel. It does theoretically continue the stuff from Trigger, but like in practice, everything about Chrono Cross is different. Like the art style is different. Most of the characters are different, and when you finally see characters from the original game, it's usually in like these really dark and depressing ways that like almost makes you wish it wasn't connected to Chrono Trigger at all.
Jeez.
It's a very weird sequel, but it's also like a super high quality game. Like most people agree that Chrono Cross is like the quintessential example, like a fantastic game and a terrible sequel. Like it's like so divorced from like not even just the story, but like the feeling of Chrono Trigger. It's like completely different, even though it's a fantastic game in its own right. And like years and years ago, there was this, I think, a Square trademark for Chrono Break, and so everyone was like, "Yeah, buddy, third Square game, third Chrono game, like here it is." And then like the trademark
Never
lapsed, and that
happened.
was it. Like, so
What
like
is the story?
The
of
Chrono
like
Trigger
of
story?
Trigger.
Yeah, because I don't know. I own Chrono Cross actually, but I've never played it.
Oh, really?
That might be an
um,
extensive conversation.
like the very short story version of Chrono Trigger is spiky haired protagonist because the art was by the Dragon Ball Z guy Akira Toriyama.
uh,
Spiky haired samurai, well, dude with a sweet sword. He wakes up late. Mom wakes him up. He goes to the county fair that marks the new millennium. He bumps into this pretty girl who has an amulet. They go to check out this sweet teleportation machine that his smart nerd friend made. But then the machine reacts to the cute girl's amulet and she gets sent back in time. And then the game becomes this big sweeping time travel adventure.
oh
Yeah,
shit,
do you remember how I'm a room hopper? They're time hoppers.
There you go.
that
Same
sounds
thing,
wild.
basically.
Yeah. And then
I
Chrono Cross is like time travel. You love time travel, huh? We're not doing that anymore.
I never
Boo!
played that one. That's
In-
disappointing to hear.
yeah, it's instead they just decided we're gonna do two different realities. One where the protagonist is alive, and the other where he like drowned as a baby. Hey,
Jeez.
Now, hold on. That actually sounds pretty interesting, if you ask me. That actually sounds
no,
pretty cool.
actually it is. No, yeah, it is really interesting. And again, it's a fantastic game. It's just like if you really wanted another Chrono Trigger, like you would walk away like unbelievably disappointed. So
Yeah,
I just think a Chrono Break would be like a great opportunity to like cop out and just give people like the Chrono Trigger-ish game that those fans wanted.
Yeah, this is
It
gonna
just
be like
sounds funny.
blasphemy. But I started Chrono Trigger on PlayStation Vita, the PS1 version, and I was really liking it, like enjoying it. The story was like pulling me in. The characters were funny, and I got pretty dang far in it too. And then one day, my son wiped everything off my Vita, and PSP games, of course, didn't have cloud saves. Back to the cloud saves. PSP games you cannot upload to the cloud or anything. So once he wiped it, it was gone, and I haven't started over ever since.
Tragic.
But it was like blowing my mind as I was playing it. Like I almost made a video on it back then because the courtrum scene. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. That was that blew my mind. I was like, this was an SNES game. I was like trying to wrap my brain around it. Like how is this so forward thinking and amazing? But yeah, it was super good.
It was amazing. And yeah, Greg, I just stop me if you already know. Oh wait, is Greg frozen? No, his eyes moved.
Just super
okay.
still.
Well, I'm looking. I'm actually looking at prices I'm looking at prices of Attack of the Saiyans on DS.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I heartily recommend it.
Nice.
But yeah,
We're all
Greg,
over the place.
just stop me if you already know this. But like the big hook when like oh god, like oh my god, this is getting closer to 20 years ago when it came out. It was like 18 years ago. The big hook, like as Chrono Trigger was going to come out, was that like this was like the dream team. This was from like the Final Fantasy creator. It was from the Dragon Quest creator. It was from the
Dragon Ball artist.
Yes, and it was from the Final Fantasy composer. So like all the most talented people in like different like slices of artistry like all came together for this like random time travel game, and it like delivered as hard as humanly possible. So like that's like the underlying reason why this game is so freaking good.
I need to get back to it for real, like, or maybe I might play the actual SNES version because the load times on PS1 were absolutely terrible.
Oh yeah.
So dang long. I feel like it extended the game like forever.
Probably. There's also the Steam version now.
Yeah, I just don't have a computer until Greg buys me one.
Right. That's
Builds you one.
Builds me one. Okay, so my game that I wish had a sequel, and then we'll get out of here. Vanquish, developed by Platinum Games and published by Sega, I believe. This game is freaking amazing. Greg likes to talk crap on it, but the first time I played it, I was like, how is combat this good? And we haven't gotten anything like it ever since. You're freaking sliding around, slipping around. You duck for cover, and then you can jump over the cover in slow motion, just shoot a bunch of people in the head. And I'm just thinking, like, if a game like this was like a Destiny style game, that I would actually probably play it just because of how fun it is. And I know there's a game like it. What's it called? Warframe. But it's just not as fun as Vanquish to me. But it does actually have pretty similar combat. This game is just a freaking blast to me, though. And just the pacing is so good. The environments and the set pieces are all really good as well. And everybody should play it. And I won't ramble on too much longer about it because we've been going about an hour.
I actually own it.
Yeah, and you need to play it. You son of a...
I reviewed it, I think.
Platinum Games
the PC
knocks it out of the park.
I remember watching like Giant Bomb play a little bit like a decade ago, and it looked really fun. I didn't realize the game reviewed so well. Like Metacritic, it's got 84, which is really good.
Well, that's for some reason. I thought it would be.
Yeah, like for some reason, I remembered it getting like a really mixed reception, but apparently not.
I thought it was in the like 6 and 7 range.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. So I don't know. Maybe Sega sent the Yakuza after those bad reviews and got them scrubbed.
Yeah, but like the art style also, because it recently got like the remaster on PS4 and Xbox One and PC. The art style has aged really well. Like just like really high contrast and really dark, deep blacks that I think look really good still. It kind of reminds me of an arcade game, like how they kind of age. Like some of them age really well. That's
like Time Crisis.
Yeah, stuff like that.
It's only 18 gigs. I'll download it right now.
Play it.
Do it.
That'll be your game that you can beat this year, Greg. It's short.
the one game.
I think it's like 6 hours long or something like that.
I beat it at one point. I'm almost sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Check your Steam achievements.
Go ahead. Take a look at my achievements.
Anytime my friend Brett something, My friend Brett always says something. He's like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure I beat that." I'm like, "Let me actually check the facts." And I always go and look at his PSN account. I was like, "Looks like you stopped at chapter 17, Brett." And
Look
there
at
was like
this.
19 chapters.
I unlocked 20 out of 50 achievements.
Wow. So you did
All
actually
right.
put at least a chunk of time into it.
Yeah. Not
You
bad.
probably
On
played with
May
Ross
28th,
Ford
2017.
5 years ago. Wow.
God.
Time flies.
Can't believe that was 5 years ago. But
Well,
yeah, that's
hopefully
pretty
a
much the
few more
show,
months
guys.
from now we'll have Bayonetta 3.
Oh
Ooh.
my god, I
Hopefully.
cannot wait. Bayonetta 2 is like probably my favorite action game. Like it's
Yeah,
so good.
same. I should offer the disclaimer that I've only played Devil May Cry for like probably 15 minutes in my whole life. So like there's a lot of similar games that I have not played, but like Bayonetta 2 on like freaking Wii U was so amazingly good.
It
Like
was,
and
it
like
was amazing.
and like I was like so excited. Like I would actually get like pretty decent scores at like the end of fights, and like I saw online like people saying like they were struggling to get like even like the mediocre ranks, and I was doing better than that. So I was like, wow, this game's amazing because I'm doing better at it than other people.
That's funny.
Uh,
But yeah, like the pacing and the set pieces in Bayonetta are crazy. Like just all the different like wild places you go. I can't wait for Bayonetta 3.
Another
yeah.
game that I own and I have not played.
Greg, I'm gonna
I have
stab you
the
in the face one
I
day.
have the Wii U dual pack too when it was like
Oh, the dual
Yeah,
pack.
that's what I've got. I never got
but
around to playing the first one. Like
it's
I played the
I
unopened,
first
so I
started the
haven't
level.
first
played
one.
it.
I played
Back
the
in the
first
day.
level of the first one and was like, yeah, this is good, but it's not as good as the thing as I just finished playing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
like
have it on PS3. The
I
first one.
started Bayonetta 2 originally, like back when it came out on 360. It was like around the time where I wasn't playing that many
No,
games,
no,
but
no, it
I
didn't come out on 360. Yo,
it
you mean the
did.
first one?
Yeah, the first one.
Okay,
I
okay,
I,
okay.
sta- I
Gotcha.
started Bayonetta 1 and I probably got probably like a few hours in and then I ended up just abandoning it. And then when Bayonetta 2 came out, I was like, I'm probably not gonna like this, but I just thought it was such a big step up over the first game.
Mm.
But I kind of want to get back to beating the first one just because it's just gonna like gnaw at me that I love the second one, but I haven't even beaten the first one.
Mm. I can live with it. Bring on 3. I'm good.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, this has been Spot Dodge, a live Nintendo podcast. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out. Greg, if people want to find you, where can they go?
You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, all some iteration of Dynamite_Giraffe or Dynamite Giraffe. Same thing with Twitter. I keep it on lock, but if you're cool, I might accept you.
Yeah. John, what about you? Where can people find you?
They can find me in aisle 8 checking out the male enhancement products. Whatever is on sale.
You've been waiting and waiting to say that.
I swear I thought of it like 15 seconds before you asked me.
First, you were on the corner. Now, in the store, getting some male enhancement products. Now
I
every
work better on the
episode,
spot.
you're gonna have to one up yourself every single time.
Oh, it's terrible. I'm gonna burn out real fast. But okay, the real answer. You can find me at my new video game website that I actually just launched today.
Oh
Making
wow, you
a
didn't even
video
tell
game with
us.
my. I sent you links and stuff. um, my brother and I are making a game called Boss Saga, where you play as the boss to defeat the heroes in like JRPG style boss battles. And if you think that sounds cool, you can check that out at boss-saga.com. BOSS-SAGA.com. And hopefully you'll like it. Say hi to me, please. Thank you.
That sounds awesome. And at some point, there better be some type of secret hero that comes in that if you let him beat you, there's like a secret ending or something. Has to be a thing.
Is he named Brett?
Yes, he is. Breath
But
Allen.
spread luck.
I'll see
But
what I can do
spread
for you.
luck. Anyway, this has been Spot Dodge. Oh yeah, if you want to find me, I'm on Twitter. You can see it on the screen at BrettNLL. Other than that, thanks a lot for hanging out. We will talk to you guys later. Goodbye.
See ya.
See you guys.